Tennis trading, I'm going to give you tips for acing the market. I know, terrible pun. Even when I said it, I hated it. But I'm a dad. I'm allowed to get away with those terrible jokes now, aren't I? Surely. I think. Am I? Okay. Anyway, if you're interested in tennis trading, I'm going to just sort of take you through a few things, a few strategies, and a few things that will really, really help you become a better tennis trader. Okay. And if you're not a tennis trader yet, this might help you want to become a tennis trader and understand the markets a little bit more. So the first tip that somebody gave me a long time ago that I'm going to share with you now is let both players have a serve. Okay, so what I mean by that is don't get involved in any of your trades until at least both players have had one serve. Now the reason for this is that you've got no idea how a player is going to start a match, but by letting them both take a serve, it lets a little bit of nerves get out of the player and yourself, and it also just sort of lets you know how prepared that player is, how well they've started, and how maybe up for it they are. You see a lot of really, really good keys and indicators in your trading that way by letting them have one serve each and seeing what's happening in the match, seeing how your player is hitting the ball and how they've lined up, how their game is shaping up, how they've sized up the opponent already. Now I know some of you are going to go, yeah, but if I do that, then I'll miss an opportunity. I've found that, you know what, if both players hold their serve, the price hardly moves, so you don't lose any value. What you gain is so much more. It is so important to just wait. Just wait, let it go in play, and just let each player have a serve. I guarantee it will help you with your trading. Let me know as well below if you've tried it and how it's changing your trading. Another really, really good tip to keep to stumbling a little bit there, guys, to keep a record of how players play their matches, their strengths, their weaknesses. It can be a simple notebook, it can be a simple spreadsheet. But once you start to understand how certain players play matches and at certain points, it really, really does help you know what is happening, and it educates you when you're doing your trades. It helps you make better decisions. If you know, for example, that Andy Murray is a slow starter, then just having that in the back of your mind, you watch him totally differently. When he is playing and he's starting slow, you don't write him off because you know it takes a while for him to work his way into the match. You also then, because you know that, you then start to look at the keys, the triggers, the signals for when Andy Murray starts to move through the gears to really try and enforce his authority on a match. Now, he is declining now, so that is harder to read, but that's just a really, really good example of one player. Imagine if you knew that over multiple players, if you knew a lot more about their game, of how they're going to move forward, when they're going to start taking those strengths and weaknesses, when they're going to start capitalizing on their opponent's strengths and weaknesses as well. Another really, really good thing to know as well is the average serve hold percentage on various tennis courts and on various different surfaces, because every single surface plays differently. So when you're looking at your data, and if you're backing a server, you might look at the percentage of them on a cert overall, but at that event it might be an anomaly. Rome, for example, the clay courts in Rome are wildly different to the clay courts everywhere else. So if you was looking at a backing the strong server strategy there, it would be totally different and it would skew your figures and it might make you question your trading. So know the percentages of what you need per event. It sounds simple, but so many people just overlook so many of these things. So we've got those ones. Now we're going to move into the strategies. I'm going to give you a couple of really, really good strategies that are really, really simple that you can use pretty much today. Okay, the first one is really like the simplest. Anyone can do this. Lay the first set winner. People are going to go, oh no, that still doesn't work. Okay, well, just go to flash scores, change the date back to yesterday, and then just scroll through the tennis and look at how many people won the first set and then didn't win the first game of the second set. Okay, it's really low risk. You don't even need your player to win that next game. You just need the threat of them winning that next game. So you just need them to go 30 love up or 40 love ups, even better. Then you could trade out, you get a few ticks. It's a really, really low risk strategy, and it's really, really good for everybody to use, especially if you're wanting to improve your tennis knowledge, because it gets you skin in the game, and also you start to learn about the players, and then you start to see which players sort of choke it in those key moments. So that really, really, really helps. Another good strategy to use is to lay the favourite if the first set score is 3-3 or 4-4. Now I'm talking pretty heavy favourites here, so anything 1.5 or below. Now you might go, what's that all about? But they're still going to be roughly around that price, maybe slightly higher, but they're having a tricky first set. Really, really tricky first set. The data and experience has told me a lot of the times that those kind of heavy favourites, they'll often just sort of write that first set off. They'll just go, okay, well, it's 4-4, lay that favourite there. It's really, really difficult for them to go on and win that set. Some of them just write it off. It sounds crazy, but they do. And then they just come back as the second set, like the first set never ever happened. Novak Djokovic, is a machine for this. I've seen him do it time and time again. It's almost like he lulls that player into a false sense of security, and then they start to question themselves of, oh my God, did I just get the first set against Novak Djokovic? Then they start to tighten up a little bit, because they shouldn't be in this position. They shouldn't have won a set against Novak Djokovic. Then Djokovic comes out, boom, second set flying. So you lay them at that point, and then you get out of that trade at the end of the first set. Okay, so you lay at 4-4, you get out at the end of the first set. The last strategy I'm going to give you is a little bit trickier, and it involves a little bit more education and a little bit more understanding of the players. But what you're going to do is you're going to basically go through the Betfair data for every day. You're going to look at the odds, and you're going to look at players that are 1.70 or above, okay? And what you're really looking for here is a player that's 1.7 or above that starts fast against a player that starts slow. So 1.7 or above is a pretty good price, and you know that that player starts faster, so there's value baked in there, against a player that starts slower. Then you're going to let both players take a serve. If both players hold their serve, you're going to back that player that's 1.7 or above that starts fast, if it looks like they're starting fast. So remember that what has to happen question. Well, what has to happen for your player to win that first set, because that's where this trading is going to be. You're going to be backing that player, hoping that they're going to win the first set. Now, at any point in that first set, if you feel like they're easing up, or they're just coasting, or they're coming off their game, get out, take your profit and move on. And the same if they're in a losing position and you think, gosh, they can't come back from this, get out. Okay, even if they're 4 or 5-1 up, take that profit and move on, because most of the time if they're 5-1, the price will be pretty much bottoming out there anyway, so you'll be able to get a really good profit and move on. So you're looking at that player then. So have they started fast is the first question. Yes. Okay, what else are they doing? Are they hitting the ball deep? Are they hitting the lines? Are they putting their opponent under pressure? Has their opponent started slow? Is their opponent struggling to handle the serve? What's the opponent's serve like? What's your player's serve like? How are they handling the opponent's serve? Are they stepping in and taking that serve early and just destroying it? Are they adding spin to their game that's just killing their opponent? All of those things, they're the kind of things that you're looking for. I always talk about that what has to happen question, but it's your hypothesis for your trade. It makes everything that follows that really, really simple. When you can answer the what has to happen question, then it's just a case of looking at what is happening and then linking it back to your hypothesis, and it works on any market. It works especially well in the tennis. So that's it. There's some really, really good tennis tips. Let me know below in the comments your best tennis strategies, and if I've missed any or there's any that you want to add to that. Also, let me know if you do the wait, let each player have a serve. Also, regular listeners will know, get to this point of the video, I give you a word. Today's word is wait. You comment that word, it lets me know that this video was any good because you got basically all the way to the end of it. So you must have liked it. We're on a mission to get to 100,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, because me and Martin both really want one of those silver YouTube things that all the cool kids have, all those influencers and content creators. We kind of want one of them in a backdrop of our video. Would look pretty cool. So every comment, every subscribe, every like really does help us. And also, if then it really helps, because we're not just recording videos staring at a camera. I've been staring at this camera for a while now. It's pretty lonely, to be honest, and it doesn't feel like I'm talking to a real human being. So by you commenting that, it lets me know that there's somebody actually watching this on the other end of this camera. So thank you very much.